Hey, what's up? This is Scott with Level Up Tutorials, and in this video I'm going to show you how we can get data from Meteor and MongoDB and have it be reactive like how Meteor normally is, and work with that within the context of a React component. So let's get started on that right now. So in the last lesson we got some resolutions in there. You can confirm this by opening up your Meteor toys by using Control M and seeing that we have our resolutions in here. But now we would really love to have those actually displayed on the screen, right? Because that's obviously the purpose of this application, is to be able to interact with your resolutions, right? And say that you did them and all things like that. So let's go ahead and talk about how Meteor can connect with React and actually serve up the data. Now, there's a lot of techniques for doing this. In versions lower than 1.3 of Meteor, you would just use the get Meteor data mixin. Now, mixins are not compatible with the ES6 or ES 2015 syntax of doing things here. So adding the mixin and not using the newer syntax is not really a great solution. So if you have learned the get Meteor data, that's all right. So it's certainly a viable solution, but going forward, I wouldn't rely on it personally. So in this video, we're going to be showing you TrackerReact, which is a package I really like. Now there's another solution called React Composer, which is also great. However, TrackerReact really just spoke to me in a way that React Composer did not, and it seemed like a really nice solution. So I'm not saying that this is the only solution. This is the solution that I choose because it's a solution that I really like. Now let's go ahead and first add the package. We can do that by actually just opening up our packages folder. Let's go to packages and let's add a new package, which is ultimate.js tracker-react. Now, if you want to make sure that your spelling is correct, you can always Google ultimate.js TrackerReact and find the GitHub page and go ahead and just copy it directly in here. We could do it this way. And upon saving this file, I can check my command line, make sure that it is in fact grabbing the correct package. So I'll have the link to this GitHub page in the description, but it's ultimate.js tracker-react, and now we can use this package. Now, one word of warning: at the time of recording this video, there is an issue with version 1.0.2. You see that your version is 1.0.2. Keep in mind that we need version 1.0.0 or higher than 1.2. 1.02 has a bug in it right now that causes some things to not work quite right. So if you see 1.0.3 or higher, then just totally ignore this next part. But if you see 1.0.2, head to your packages file and add an @ equals 1.0.0 like so, and hopefully what we should see is that our package will be then updated to version 1.0.0. And we can confirm that by hitting versions, scroll down, and as you can see, Ultimate Tracker React at 1.0.0. Keep in mind, this versions file just shows you the versions of every single package you're using. You can feel free to come in here and check this out at any given point. So as you can see, by using @ equals 1.0.0, we're now using the correct version of TrackerReact. Now, TrackerReact makes it so you can use Meteor's reactive abilities directly in React with no extra hassle. So to do this, let's go ahead and on our app.js page, let's go ahead and have an import here. We want to import, and this is going to be cool because so far we've only imported npm packages. Now we're going to import TrackerReact from, and then now we can say Meteor / and then ultimate.js tracker-react. So we're now actually importing TrackerReact from the Meteor package itself. So that's pretty cool. Let's make sure that we have no errors on our page. Let's actually head to the browser. I like to just head back to my browser all the time just to make sure when you import something that it did find it. Otherwise, it would complain to you that it did not find it. Okay, so we're now importing TrackerReact. Let's go ahead and use TrackerReact. Now, the way to use this is basically we need to wrap this react.component in a TrackerReact. So we can say TrackerReact like so. Wrap this in parentheses, just like this. So TrackerReact. Now what we should see here on our page when we refresh, we should see a TrackerReact engaged. If you don't see this, make sure maybe refresh, but we need to be importing TrackerReact and we need to be extending TrackerReact wrapped around this React component. Now what we want to do is have a function here, and this function is just going to be resolutions. Okay? Now resolutions is just going to be inside of here. It's going to return just a Mongo query. So we can say return, and now we can pass this in just a standard resolutions, which is our collection dot find. Now we can have open and close parentheses here. Since we're not going to be searching for anything in particular, we just want all of the resolutions. Now we want a dot fetch. Now fetch is going to make sure that this query returns an object. Otherwise, dot find is going to return a cursor. Now that's not necessarily important for this example. All we need to know is dot fetch gives us the object. Now to make sure that this is working, let's go ahead down to our render function. So before we print out any sort of data or anything like that, we can simply say console.log, and now let's output this dot resolutions. And if you remember, that's a function, so we need parentheses. Now this dot resolutions, if you remember from the last video, we used this dot add resolution. So this dot resolutions right here is referring to this function, which is returning the object of our resolutions. So now when we save this, head back, you should be able to see that we have our resolutions being output right here on the command line. We can open these up. We can see all the correct information. So as you can see now, we have this data and it's coming directly from our database into React. Okay, so since we now have this information, let's go ahead and write a single resolution. I'm just going to head down here beneath the form, and I'm going to just add a div. We're going to be rewriting much of this HTML, so don't worry about that. Now for our actual text, let's go ahead and grab the first item. To do that, I'm actually just going to make a new var. We can just say let res equal this dot resolutions, like that. Now down here, we can, inside of our div, inside of curly brackets, we can now have access to res. And actually we want, because this is an array, we want the first item dot title. Now the reason I'm not showing looping just yet is because it's a little bit different in React. I don't want to sort of overwhelm. Right now we're just working on getting our data out of TrackerReact. So as you can see, if we come back to our page here, let's actually give this a manual refresh. It turns out this should be text, not title, sorry. Res, the first item, dot text. And now as you can see, the Finish React Meteor series is now being displayed properly on our front page here. Now, after recording this video, I found out that a number of people were seeing this after using this text, res0 text, and we're getting this uncaught type error, cannot read property of text. If we head to our Sublime text, the problem here is when Tracker initially engages, res is actually set to 0 because this dot resolutions comes in as a completely blank array. So res0 is going to be equal to undefined, and when we try to grab this dot text, it's not going to be able to find anything. So if you are seeing this error right here, it's essentially because React is trying to use the data before it's available. Now, the solution to this is actually to check quickly. So what we can do is an if statement. We can say if res.length is less than 1. So if there's no items in this array, then let's go ahead and return, and we can just simply return a div that says loading. Now this is just a temporary solution, and you'll notice a pitfall is if you have no resolutions in your database, then we're never ever going to see any of this stuff at all. However, for the next few videos, you don't really need to see this res.text. So if you are getting undefined, just go ahead and remove this line entirely. It is non-essential for the rest of the videos. However, you may see it pop up in the code examples. If you head to the page here, you'll notice we do have our resolution popping up now, and we're not getting any error because it's only returning this until, of course, res then gets data. Once res gets data, then it allows you to proceed. Now, of course, like I said, if res never has data, it's never going to proceed. So make sure you have a resolution saved in before you try to do any of this. Cool, so I hope that cleared up some problems that were happening. Like I said, if you see this res.text in further videos and it's not working for you, just go ahead and remove it. It's non-essential. Amazing. So we've learned a few things in this lesson. We've added a method on our class. We've added the TrackerReact package that we're now importing directly from Atmosphere, and we're using TrackerReact to wrap React.component. Then we're getting that data from the database. Then over here, I'm just setting it to a variable so that we can then grab it right here. So now that we have our data here, we're going to start thinking about React stuff a little bit more here. So we have our data within Meteor, we have our components, but what we don't really have is sort of any proper structure. We're not really thinking in components. We're just sort of throwing everything into this one component. So over the next couple of videos, we're going to clean this code up a ton. We're going to add styles. We're going to add some folder structure. We're going to actually loop over this data and show you the process for that. So as always, this is Scott with Level Up Tutorials. If you want access to all of the code examples, as well as extra unreleased videos in this series, head to store.leveluptutorials.com and check out the product for sale for digital download, or you can sign up to be a Level Up Pro and get access to actually streaming this content, all of which will be available right now if you sign up to be a pro or if you purchase at store.leveluptutorials.com. Over the past 3 years, I've made 800 some free tutorials on YouTube. I'm hoping to do at least 200 more this year for free on YouTube. So if you want to help keep supporting the free tutorials, head to store.leveluptutorials.com and help support. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.